Good evening, everyone. It's time for Stewards again. I'm going to jump straight into it now rather than giving a chatting intro, so we'll crack on with the first one. The first of the reported incidents was the one coming up right now. So we'll play it through steady. Hopefully you can hear me this time as well. Sorry for the 992 guys. Be sorted. Okay. Let's just watch that again. That didn't look totally normal. No, that looks a bit sketchy. Yeah, that's weird that. So it looks like netcode. I mean, Willem does turn in and they do touch, but I feel like Roman's car exaggerates the impact of it. Um, it's something I noticed myself in the race as well. I guess we'll see how that one turns out later on, but um, yeah, I'm not sure. I think the game's just freaked out here, not really knowing what to do. Got Roman's car doing all kinds of crazy things. It looks like the slightest of rubs. Probably if everything was fine, and on any other corner, any other time, I don't think that would have resulted in anything. I don't think I can realistically give anything for that. Let's have a look on Roman's car. That's so strange. If you look at the inputs as well, it all just goes really strange. I'll play it back slow so you can see what I'm talking about. Hang on, I'll run it back a little bit more. Yeah, so we've got full throttle, whatever this is, and then just totally skips out. What's happening with the speed? 120 down to 112, then 15 without any braking. Yeah, strange one. Sure enough, there was a slight bit of a rub there from Willem, but I don't think he can be blamed for what happened to Roman there. It's just the game's done a bit of a weird one, had a wobble. Let's have a look what's next. Okay. 29 minutes and 18 seconds. And it is with Riley. Seen it. And who? Bobby. I'm not sure who Bobby is, but I think we're going to find out. Okay. Excuse me. I think we know who Bubby is now, Francesco. Okay, so yeah, Riley's gone for a move up the inside and doesn't, you know, Francesco's in the corner at this point. Riley's easing up, trying to get alongside, force his way into the gap, but you know, he's not slowed enough. Made contact there with Francesco, corrected into him, seen the steering left there, sure. Riley's correcting into Francesco there, which has the effect of turning Francesco around, putting him in the barriers, and Riley cracks on. So yeah, I think that's going to be a penalty for Riley there. That was the end of the race, I believe, as well. So no opportunity to give it back. Not the end of the race, but not slowing down for anyone. Francesco lost another place as a result by the looks. Yep, that one's on Riley. That's it for the reported ones for race 1, which is pretty surprising given the weather that we had. What I'll do now is I'll look at the results file and see what the sim has reported. Just bear with me a sec. Ooh, surprisingly not many. So I wonder if this is to do with probably the weight of the impact, if you like, with everybody running slower. Maybe there wasn't that many that the sim registered. Yeah, could be. Anyway, let's have a look. First incident, Francesco Caravello and Jaroslav Videz. That's nothing. No dramas, they want another weather. Little tap, nothing major. Let's have a look at the next one. Nicolo and Emmanuel Bibilione. Bibilione? Nicolo here. Okay. Let's have a look from Emmanuel's perspective. Okay. I think the wet weather has obviously not helped in this situation. We've got Emmanuel, we've got Nick defending on the inside there. We've got Emmanuel taking the outside line. He's not in an overtaking position, but he is in the outside and Nick's in the inside. And then as he begins braking, Nick's moving back across into Emmanuel's line. Nick doesn't get any issue from this. Emmanuel cracks on after it as well. Neither driver is particularly disadvantaged. I think given the conditions, I'm probably inclined to let that one go. I don't think Emmanuel was ever going to get stopped. So you've got Emmanuel arriving to that corner too quick and locking up. But then there wouldn't have been contact if Nick hadn't moved back across. But then, Emmanuel's not here in a position to be attacking. He's losing ground to Nick. Nick's just coming back to the racing line. I think this would be a normal, reasonable gap given the weather conditions. If I had to put a split, I'd put it 65-45, 65-30. Wait, no, what am I saying? 55-45 towards Nick being at fault for moving back across. But it's a tough one. I think that's probably because it's so fine and so close, and given the conditions, and neither driver was disadvantaged, I'm probably inclined to let that one slide as well. What's next? Anton Temenga with an immovable object. What's occurred? Interesting. We've got a fair bit going on in this one. So to start, we've got Christian trying to overtake around the outside and off the track, and then forcing his way back on and into Anton, which pushes him into Jordan, which pushes Jordan out, and Christian takes them both. And then here I come. Okay, so because this involves me, I'm not going to comment on it any further. But what I'm going to do is, I was thinking about this the other day. When I'm doing this for anyone else, I'll run through the video and then I'll write up a brief report. And then if there's anything involving me, one of the other T6TC admins will review those and judge accordingly. But I feel like it's not fully transparent or fair that you guys don't get to see the incident and just have to read the write-up after, and then if you want to find the incident, go back through your own replays to view it. And I think that's a little bit of an arse-ache for someone who just wants to watch the video, read the report, and get on with it. So what I'm going to do is, if it's involving me, I'm going to play it through from a few perspectives, and then say nothing, but you guys have got the context then for when you're reading the report, if you're reading the report and watching the stewarding at the same time. So that said, we'll run this through from a couple of perspectives and then we'll skip on to the next one, but I won't say anything. Oops, wrong one. I don't think there's any benefit in showing Anton's onboard here, but I'll do it for the sake of completeness. Okay, on to the next. Daniel Hurlock and Callum Wilson. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's nothing serious there. The track conditions have made it awkward because these guys have slowed more than Daniel has anticipated, and in this weather, there's not a great deal you can do about that. He's not on the throttle or anything like that. He's trying to wait to allow everything to unfold in front of him, but he can only do so much when the weather is as it is. I mean, I'm inclined to look at Carlo there and just question, maintaining the position off the track. But then the reality is, if he'd stayed on the track, Daniel would have hit him as well. So that's probably neither here nor there as well. Yep, next. Fraser Hart and Simon Trebek. Okay, yeah, the conditions catching Simon out again there. Not again for Simon. I mean, like, it's catching people out. Let's watch him through. Not so much the impact to Fraser, because I don't think it does any harm to Fraser, and Simon gets off unscathed. But I'm wondering if it's impacting the two drivers ahead. I mean, no, not really, not realistically. Nah. Jaroslav there has been, potentially slowed down. It looks like he's going for a little bit of a cutback on Basti. But the reality is that Basti's only... It wasn't going to be on. It wasn't going to be on. Basti's only in that position because he's slowed down by Jordan, but there's nothing happening there. What's next? Christian Diaz. O'Mill. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why Jordan's flashing his lights there. What's happening here? Right, let's run this through. So Christian here is into the corner. Oh, excuse me, 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, sorry about that little intermission. Just had some personal business to sort out. Let's play this through slow. So I understand that there are different lines through this corner. Some take a tighter line and sacrifice corner exit. Some take a slightly wider line and prioritise the run down the straight. So that is a factor that we need to consider when we're looking at this incident. But let's run it on. So it looks like Jordan has tried to squeeze into a gap here that was always going to close, and we are in the corner. As the rules state, you can't, if you've not got a wheel overlap before the turning point, then you're not entitled to space. That doesn't mean to say that you can't leave space for people, because you've got to ask yourself, what's got to weigh up the benefits and the risks. Are you going to get damaged, get wiped out, end your race, get no points whatsoever, or are you going to lose a position? Is the driver behind faster, slower? All sorts of things you've got to weigh up. But so you don't have to leave space if the car that's trying to overtake you hasn't got into an overtaking position before the corner. But you've just got to think to yourself, is it worth closing that door when it's going to result in, worst case scenario, a DNF for yourself, and you might be right in the steward's room, but it doesn't get you those points. That's not to say that Christian's done anything wrong here. Not at all. He's just taking a fairly typical line, slightly wider, and then tightening on the exit to get a better run out of the corner. And Jordan's just tried to sneak up the inside. So we'll carry on playing, because something happens after this as well. So Christian's exit has been compromised by that touch from Jordan. And we see Jordan's catching now and flashing lights. He thinks that he's been outdone by that. Christian's run off the track here. So coming back on. Jordan's left car's width. Christian carries on driving. think that's the end of that. I don't think there's I'm inclined to think that in this situation, Jordan's left the cars. So for the first part, Jordan was in the wrong by trying to get up the inside on Christian, and then on the second part, Christian has come back on too severely onto the track and has hit Jordan. I'm just wondering what it looks like from Christian's perspective, because it might have looked like he was. No, I think if, I was going to say it might feel like he was being squeezed onto the grass at the end of the curbs and run off, but that's not really an excuse to push your way back on either. If you've left the track, it's your responsibility to rejoin safely, and it's we're supposed to leave space for other cars, and Jordan did leave space for another car. So let's see. Yeah, I think Christian's misjudged his angle coming back on. I don't think there's anything malicious intent in that, because you had further down the track to cause problems. In fact, he's tried to stay out of Jordan's way by keeping left, and doesn't do anything further in the next corner. So I'm not saying that this is retribution or anything like that. I think that was just a bit of a honest mistake, and Jordan's still got the advantage after this sequence has taken place. It's compromised Christian's exit. Christian hasn't been able, has lost the position ultimately. Yeah, Jordan's tried to squeeze down there, and it's just, it's definitely damaged, hampered Christian's exit. Jordan's made the most of it, so I think that's probably going to be some sort of penalty coming Jordan's way for that. I'll have a look at it afterwards and see what's appropriate. Right, what's next? Jaroslav Fides with Fraser Hart. No, that's not how we take corners. Do overtakes. No, so no impact there really to Fraser, but I think just for the audacity of the move, I think there'll be a appropriate penalty coming to Jaroslav for that. Causing contact without any significant disadvantage to the other driver. But I suspect that closing speed suggests that probably Jaroslav's on softs and the rain stopped at this point. Fraser's probably on wets. But what's next? Francesco Caravello. Oh, we've had this one, I think. Yeah. Similar to the one with Jordan earlier, except it came off worse for Francesco because he lost 2 places. Well, that's all of them that the Sims reported, but in the interest of transparency as well, you might have seen in the Discord that I'd apologised to Luke for an incident towards the end of the race. So what I'm going to do is just see when that happened. And what I'll do is, as I said before, I'll just run them through and make sure that I don't talk or comment on it, but give a couple of perspectives or what I feel like are probably relevant perspectives so that you have some context. Okay. Right, yeah, I believe it must be coming up now. I'm not going to show any other perspectives, purely because there's only two cars involved, and the only perspective we're going to get from Luke is a car in his mirror. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to go on board with Luke just to see the inputs and G-force. Okay, that's it for race 1. Let's go on to race 2. Okay, there's a few more incidents on this one, but the rain was worse in this one. So that probably explains some of that. Should be loaded up any second. Oh, excuse me. It's getting on. 10:30. Here we go. So we've got one reported incident from this race. It's Chris Grever and Alejandro Capa, and that's at 24 minutes and 25 seconds. Glad we missed it. 24 minutes and 25 seconds. Like I said last time out, the timings are sometimes a little bit squiffy. Sometimes a little bit later in the sim time than where it's reported for other people. I presume it must be that. Chris has let him get back in front. So yeah, there's nothing in that. That was the only reported one, so what we'll do is we'll have a look now through the ones that the sim has got. We've got a couple real early on. I'm not sure what they are. No, it's nothing. That's it. Okay, so okay. What's that then? It's not like a traction loss kind of thing, because we're going in a straight line and we're up to speed. I mean, at face value, we can all see exactly what's happened here, but I just want to look at the inputs. Okay, so Emmanuel turns into reader. Why does he turn into reader? Does he think he's clear and trying to get in the slipstream? Well, no, because he's turning before he can even see reader. What does he do after? Just causes chaos. Who else gets collected? Anton. Just out of control and tags a car getting past. What else happened? I wonder if anyone else got impacted by this. Did reader tap anyone else? No, he stuck to wall, so he's out of the way. He's braking. Sort of. That said, he is the last person on the track, so he's not going to affect anyone. And that was the end of that. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that Emmanuel there is going to be getting a penalty. Strange move and the devastation. I wonder if Emmanuel doesn't have crew chief running, doesn't have a radar, and is seeing this gap down on the outside of Basti and thinking that's where I'm going to go for turn one, not realising that he's got a car alongside him at all. That's what it looks like. But the penalty will be the penalty, and point for Emmanuel will be to please just install crew chief or get a radar or both, preferably, so that this doesn't happen again. Okay, next. So there's a few that are the fallout from that. And then we've got Basti Schreier. I'm not sure what's crack here. I don't think this is what's being reported by the game, but we've seen it now, so we're going to look at it. So we've got Basti there squeezing Christian once Christian's got alongside before the turning point, pushing Christian over the curb and off the track. And then what's Roman's involvement in this? Basti's just hit Roman and then carried on. So yeah, I think that's a penalty, or two penalties maybe for Basti. So we've got the first where he's squeezed Christian. Christian here is in an overtaking position, and we're not at the corner yet, and Basti's moving across ever so slightly, edging, squeezing into Christian. Probably braking too late and too little, carrying too much speed, which is why we end up going into the back of Roman. But then he's more than making the apex, he's turning over the apex. So I don't think it's a speed problem. So we've got squeezing Christian off the track and retaining the position, and Roman Barthez, who was minding his own business, gets collected in the rear, turned round. Basti carries on. Two separate incidents, slightly connected. And track cut, good measure. Yeah, penalty R2 coming for Basti there. Okay. Okay, this is me with Simon Trebek, so I'll do like I did before. Oh, I wasn't getting full throttle. I think that must be a pedal problem. Okay, moving on. William Westerhoff and David Zewes. Okay, so the first part we've got Willem is run to the back of David and pushed him wide, which has given himself a bit of a gap on the inside. Like I'm talking these out like they're happening, and I'm fully conscious that people are probably not doing these intentionally. It's most likely because of the weather, um, but that's what's happened. So I'll just continue to talk that way. So yeah, Willems tapped David wide here, and which has given him a gap on the inside, which he's gone for. And then as we run through the exit of the corner, David's being pushed off. At this point, the touching, so Willems' turning performance is probably reduced. But he's run right to the curb with a car still alongside him, and I just pushed him off the edge of the track. Yeah, I think there'll be a penalty probably coming for that. Okay, Alan Axon and Vlad Tokarev. Alright, yeah, that's alright. You've got Francesco up ahead, checking up Vlad. And Alan gets checked up in the process, backs out of it to not capitalise. Yeah, I think that's just racing. And that's the end of the results file incidents. So that is the end of the video. I'll type this up now and wrap this video up. Hope you've enjoyed. Catch you all later.